workforce management. And workforce, the people that work for you and how you manage your workforce when you're in the office and managing your workforce, that's a great topic. And we have two people that know this very well. What are we talking about on workforce management?
Well, just so you guys, so we can set the perimeters around our business, is we do have full-time employees that work with us. They primarily work there's an all-girl crew. Shout out.
That's your girls, right?
That's my girl crew.
Yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl.
And we do all of course all inside installs, because we do actually have a good chunk of indoor decor that is married with outdoor.
So this
decor.
is the inside jobs.
Some of them, and then we do a ton of the
all girl crew, Laura.
The commercial. We do a bunch of the.
I was allowed to pass out of this desk.
Here's the thing with a professional company on that list, it came up and it said attention to detail, and with because this is like a construction, we call it decorative construction, is what I call it.
So this,
it's not Christmas light installation.
We do the detail work.
It's construction. We have lifts. You can't put up a 30-foot tower tree without a lift. So you have to know how to use a lift. A lift is a very construction. It's heavy equipment, right? Safety is another thing and everything. But attention to detail matters so much in the Christmas light business. You decorate an indoor tree and it doesn't look beautiful because of all the nice little soft touches and stuff like that. So with it is I've come to find out there are roofers. Are they really attention to detail? No, they're a little more rough and tough around the edges.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's the characteristics of the person is the thing. And the characteristics is saying that, hey, the qualities and based on your role and responsibilities, you have to have a really good attention to detail. Do you have that? Because a lot of these guys want to throw up a wreath and the bow's still crooked and everything I see on the job site form and everything. And they're uploading pictures and I'm like, did you fix that wreath? Because that looks like crap.
So we have that crew, and then of course we run subcontracting crews out of installation.
How do you manage all the crews that are working for you and the phones and the quotes and how do you do it?
So we split. Of course, I know you and Laura probably split, but we split the workload down the middle. But the biggest thing that we use is our systems. So the scheduling jobber, the map being detailed out, everything being good. Essentially, the crew should not be calling me very often throughout the day, because I should have number one, when they walk in the door, Gracie's already going to have their trailers completely filled with everything they need. All their supplies.
We have a lady that works for us named Gracie too.
Oh, Gracie don't play, okay? Gracie will eat you up.
No, this is Gracia. Gracia. She's speaking Spanish to everybody.
Mine has a full hot pink cup. Yeah, pink cup with a hot pink Murphy Christmas lighting sweater. She's short with blonde hair, and she is giving you the business.
Oh, like that?
Oh, she ain't playing with you, okay? She about to eat you up. But she installs like nobody's business. But she has a color system. She has all her systems. So you're already set up for success when you're walking out the door in your trailer. And then you should be following your maps. I should not be on the phone with you unless you.
Okay, hold on. I need to. I actually know about this because we run like 13 crews. So, when the people come in, the materials are already ready for them. The trailers are ready. Okay. So then, when you send them out with the multiple jobs they have to do that day, or how's that work?
It's a worker profile and jobber.
So
they get the line items and they
can see the map,
because we have different crews and we cluster and we're saying, hey, you're this crew, like you're Rudolph.
You can see what you're tagged in,
but you can also see what other people are doing.
So I come in to work for you. Good morning. They say, okay, you're going to be on Rudolph today, and then look at your jobber. It's going to tell you what the first assignment is. When you're done with that, then how's it work?
Your next one.
And review it before.
So you review. You assign them all 3 jobs for the day. Or whatever.
All their jobs, their whole route.
And
really?
And it's tracked with. You can hit the timestamp there, so you can collect data to say that was 3 men and it took 3 hours. That's a 9-man-hour job, and it's not an opinion.
And do you have them? Are they using their own personal phone for that?
No, you can You can allow them to record their own time at a visit.
Yeah, because when I set them up on Jobber, I make them go through. I set it up myself for them, because it's But I make them accept the thing that says allow GPS tracking.
Yeah, they have that.
So as soon as they get to the job, it automatically clocks them in. They just have to clock that.
And then there's also air tags in all of the trailers.
So you know where the trailer's at.
You know where the trailers are at all times. So in case anyone's off track. You also inside of the job can reference a picture of it, or if it's an older quote, it's already been installed, or there could be a Photoshop in there.
Or something unique about that property that they just need to consider. And so
a customer calls you and says, hey, do you have any idea when the guys are going to be here? Then you can look at whatever, and then it'll tell you.
Location. Yeah, I'll look at their Find My first and see if where their air tag is. And then, I mean, if I need to reach out to them, I will. But 9 times out of 10, these are the people we run a day ahead. So on our schedule, it will say, let's say hypothetically, someone's going to be done on November the 1st, right? Mm-hmm. That customer is going to be told they're being done November the 2nd through the 5th or 6th, right? But on our schedule, it's November the 1st because we call them you get ahead bins. So if you get ahead, there's backup houses at the very end that are close to that route that you're running that you can catch on the way back to keep you most profitable. But those customers don't know about it. So the customers in their mind think you're not supposed to be here tomorrow. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, my lights came up a day early. And they're so excited. So then the customer service looks even better. So if they are.
We've had bad experience with that.
Only if it's.
We need to black those.
Not commercial. We don't do this at commercial now. Commercial.
The thing is, we have ranges. So like if it's bad weather or this, not everybody's like, are you going to be here right at this time? Everybody knows that we're a week long, but what we're doing is saying, hey, this Rudolph is on the way to your property. You can do this from each one. Do we have timestamps in Jobber when the job's been done? No, because they are going to blend within the whole week. We can move them all within this week. But if you have 3 bad weather days, things are going to stack up. But at the same time, they can go to their client portal on what is projected with us right now of when we will be there and we should be there. But if it moves to the next day, it's because of some complications or whatever in the business. Somebody gets a flat tire, like that can hold up a crew. And the thing is, do you have backup tires? I did the trailer thing. If you have trailers in the 7-pin on the trailer, what if it doesn't get plugged in and it's dragged? And now you have these contractors or other employees towing the trailer at night without their brakes because it's shredded. Yeah. Do you have an extra 7-pin? You're constantly thinking of ways your business could go down, and you're trying to solve these problems. But when I put up the post of like the 7-pin and does everybody have an extra 7-pin, everybody's like, what's the price per foot? And I'm just like, oh my God.
Fucking price per foot. I'm about to kill somebody.
But what I'm saying is like what you're saying about how do you do everything.
Well, I haven't said it yet. I was just asking the right questions.
You did. You're finally getting there. It's how it took it would take 2.5 hours. It got you there.
Yeah, you finally asked the right question.
But it really is about your systems working for you. What are your systems? What is holding you back from being successful, and what is it?
Yeah.
From being your most profitable and your most successful. What is holding you back? What is it? What is it?
So
because
yeah, I mean,
for everyone.
So for us, it's quality of the workmanship, and then the other one is communication. Yep. So the way that we run our business is very similar, but we start them off with the first job. So even though they have maybe 3 jobs, they don't see nothing. They just see one job, and they go to the one job, and only when you complete it, and the guy who's running the crews and everything for us or helping us out. Only when you show me all the pictures that everything's good, then I will say, great job. Here's the next house. And it just takes 2 seconds to assign them to the next job. Then I can say, hey, Miss Jones, so-and-so is on the way. He just got assigned. He's on the way from whatever place. So however long it take to get there, I don't know if he needs to stop or whatever, but he's leaving from this area and heading your way. And then I know exactly where they're at all times. Or if there's a trouble call, I can say, hey, before you go to that one, go to this little trouble call really quick on the way, and then I can reroute them to another one. That's how we do our routing, because what I noticed, if you give them 3 jobs, they're at the fucking 2nd job and didn't do the first one right, or they didn't install something.
I got 12 sitting on them. I got 12 in their truck, and I probably got 3 hanging on the back burner. But this is my thing when you said about the pictures and stuff. You don't get paid. If that is not correct in the system, you don't get paid.
Yeah, but it's not even about your money. It's about my money. And I can't get paid if you're trying to go back there to this job.
You're not going back on my time.
No. The thing is it's all on my time because I only have this many installers and they need to be efficient. And I want you to go to the next one. The fact that you wasted the whole day, didn't come into work, you didn't make any money. But the big problem is I didn't make any money because I have an installer that didn't show up. Or if the installer has to leave early for whatever reason, for just, hey, come on, man, work till like 8 o'clock, just do one more. No, I can't make it. Or the neighbor needs something. You're like, okay, I was going to have him go here and then go there, but why don't you do the neighbor, since the neighbor wants it now, and I'll send this person when they call me and say they're done. Now I can send them there. That's how we've done ours, and we've had success with that. But I would like to do it the way that you do, but
well, the thing is, it's so you only have so many resources. So
Yes.
when Chelsea's saying like you're doing it on my time, if they don't complete a job, we do tell our contractor, hey, you didn't take the photo.
I guess you're going at 10 o'clock
And so
at night.
once you're done, it's on your guys' time, but you didn't do what you were supposed to do, and that's our standard.
That's my stand, and I'm very clear about it. And I do check the quotes throughout the day, like you said. I do check my quotes throughout the day, and I will bring it to your attention. And like maintenance, like what you're saying, like my maintenance truck doesn't do anything that requires like 2-person. You know, like you need 2 people to get there. Like, of course, those have to be separate because we don't want anyone getting hurt. And so I will throw things on there, like you said. Like I'll throw things on there here and there, but I have a standard, and these are the things that have to be done. And if you if you are not going to complete your houses that I put on your route that day, and you have to double back to something, you need to do that on your own time.
The thing is about performance.
Yes.
So you have these resources, and they will get depleted because maybe they're not performing.
Yeah.
So if with like what you're saying, Ron, is like you're dispatching and you're literally looking at the resources and you're saying going over here because they can't see the global picture of it all, right? But the thing is like we segregate out the maintenance with a different truck, because that way it's unbiased and he can recognize when these crews are messing up. It's a quality control thing, right?
Yeah.
It's quality control. So how many times are these errors going? And then what are we going to do about it? Just like in Tidy's Cover and Joy, we say if there's an error on your property 3 times, we come up with a different plan of whatever we're trying to do. It ain't working.
yeah.
So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find the real problem of why this thing is tripping all. And it's like, oh, you're over watering. And we have a lot of ground stuff, and we need to raise the ground stuff, and you kind of need to lower your water. You are drowning your lawn and your plants. You're drowning them right now. There's way too much water, right? We also garden, so we kind of know that's a lot of water, right? But it's about the guys that you're training and employing and trying to keep them on track to where you don't have to micromanage dispatch them all the time. You have your schedule. You understand our systems and our processes. And then if there's any errors, we'll have a conversation with you about it.
Well,
you should always be hiring. You should always be hiring.
Yeah.
If something doesn't work out and they won't match your standards, then you need to move on to the next. You're not performing.
It's like you have the guy speaking Spanish. So I speak to them in Spanish, and then with the customers, and they even have like a note says, hey, my name is this. Here's what we're going to do. My English isn't very good, but if you call this number, they can translate to me or whatever. Just whatever. You communicate with the customers.
You're being proactive.
So if they don't if this person's having a problem with not taping connections, then before they're done, I don't just want the pictures of the job. I want the pictures of all the connections just from this guy, because he's demonstrated a problem of he's skipping over it, saying the job's done, but when it rains, now we're looking at 50 projects that he's done in the last week that need tape. Or if they're not good at communicating of, hey boss, I'm done for the day. I need to know because you don't have another job, so I know something's up. I can't tell if you got 3 houses. I mean, I can look and see you're at the 2nd job, but I want to be able to communicate with the guy just showed up and no one called. It's like, okay, you let me know when you're done. I'm going to assign you the next one. That way I can communicate with the customer for you. So that's the reason why we do it. But it's I guess there's more than one way to skin a cat or whatever. But
no, exactly. But I set the tone with my customer that I'm not going to over communicate with them. Like you even stopping and knocking on the door and doing that, I think that's great, but I personally don't do it in my company. I tell people that we're quiet and quick on their product. Most of my customers don't want to talk to me. They want to be text messaged, and they want to be us to install it and get in and get out and be quiet and careful. Like I get regularly compliments on how quiet and quick our crews are on their site. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's different because I don't need to do all like the communication you're talking about. I've set the tone in my company that I don't need to do that communication. So then I don't have to micromanage them like that. But we have set the standard, and then anything that Joey is really a lot better at this. He thinks it's going to be a fail point for those crews. Those are projects he's personally on, or I'm personally on. There's someone that's personally on those projects, so it's not a fail point.
It's understanding the resources characteristics of what they can do.
What you're saying too
and
about
if I hire a new guy and I'm like, well, I've worked for a professional company. I don't care about any of that. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. And you're going to answer them. and you're going to give me the correct answer. Like, these are black and white. They're not to trick you or anything. But if you don't know how to do these things, then I have to know that if I can't send you to this type of property,
like what you're saying,
or I'll have to micromanage.
Or
you.
yeah, I want to make sure the reef looks good. And if it's supposed to be red and white or red tips, let me see the picture so I can say, hey, dude, that's supposed to be candy cane.
We do require,
you know, I want to see the picture. And then when I say yes, it's my fault because I had someone else look at it and double check your work and they said good. And then you're on to the next one. But it is more work. But in my opinion, I have more control of exactly where they are. And you know, when the season gets longer, sometimes you don't know all 3 jobs. You know they're going to have 3 jobs, but you just know the first one, maybe the second one, especially if you're running 10 crews. But after you're done and you sell another one, you're like, okay, I got a guy over here. As soon as he's done with that one, we'll send him that way. And then as soon as they're done, okay, now you're going to this house and they're just ready for anything. It makes it logistically easier, especially early in the season and later. But in the prime time, you have we have like fucking 200 and some houses on the board weekly, and we have them on the week. And then we have all the installers and we'll say, okay, let's take this one who's just called 3 times and said where, or they want their money back. Let's put them on next for this person when they call. And this one's in this area.
I still do that. I still do all that. And I do still like, and what you're talking about, like there is a time when sometimes I'll be like, hey, I got a rando for you. I got a customer who is just not happy.
A rando on
the schedule today. But they know they're going to be in that area. The reason I also like for them to see their whole map is my crew lead, like who you said, who's running the guys and running the crews. I call him our crew lead. He decides where to take lunch. He decides where to get lunch. He plans out his whole day. And I actually really appreciate how he does his schedule. He does a wonderful job and he plans out his whole day. And then sometimes what he'll do is if there's a stack in a neighborhood, he'll drop a few guys off and they'll start going up the street installing these, and they'll go around the corner and start installing the other ones. So he's proactive in that sense. But I have a time limit. And I'm going to check on you at a certain time and see where you're at. And is there sometimes things happen? Yes, like you said, like someone need to go home, this, that, or the other. Yes. But if it's a trend, then obviously it tells me that you can't handle this schedule. I need 1, take the schedule down, or 2, I need to fill in some other replacement. But I'm always hiring. Yeah. I'm always looking for an install. And then I'm also always picking installs off that I will go do with Gracie. And we'll go off and do ourselves because we're like, oh, let's catch up the crew. And if it's after commercial time, because you got to remember, we're doing all our residential mostly besides tree wraps, etc. in October. So we will cherry pick the baby stuff off and go install it real quick, you know, and help them out. Or like, oh, they just need to add something on. I think that it's all about how your time management. A lot of people don't sit down and think about what is your time management and what do you want your day to look like. You might find more profit in managing your crews like a dispatch center. Someone else might not. What is you going to find most profitable based off your work? I've had employees that are angels that you don't have to even talk to them. They can do everything themselves. I've had employees I've had to micromanage that have done it for 3 years and wrap a tree like it's their first year every single time. And you're like, are you kidding me, brother? Like you wrapped a bazillion trees. Why does it look like this? It's all about understanding your talent and then what drives your talent. What is driving your talent to perform? Because what drives Gracie and what drives our install crews are 2 different things. Our install crews is money. It's going to be money. Gracie works for the company. She wants to see Murphy Christmas lighting grow. This is her long-term plan. She runs projects herself. She likes fun projects. So guess where she wants to be? At the fun projects, at the more fun stuff. That's a reward to her. That drives her. She's going to do a good job because of that. Being off early drives her. The other crews getting an extra house and getting overtime and getting more hours that day drives them. You have to understand the dynamics. You have to understand you also have to have different dynamics. My brother who stays at our warehouse all day, that dude, you know what drives him? Systems. He loves a good organization. He loves a good number chart. Like he will nerd out over that. If you say you can do systems all day, he's happy, but he's not unhappy to help load up a trailer. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he has a personality on him. I'll tell you that.
Funny. He's funny. He's funny. He's funny, dude. But all of them are funny.
The other thing with that too, here's what I've faced in the early years, and I don't think till recently it's even gotten better. But they'll be like, they want to ask a question, but there's the fear because you're so busy. You're so busy that I felt like I didn't want to bother you. You don't feel comfortable asking me a question, and because I'm like, why are you on site for so long? And I could have told you in 10 seconds
You got to open
to
it
fix
up.
your problem. So if you're not also having the open dialogue with your people, because if they call me, it's da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da. It's precise communication. What's the issue? Here's how to solve it. Move on. Done. And so they feel more like they can do more in your company because they do have that support because I want to see them win at every project. I don't want them to be like, they get something. And I'm like, why didn't you fluff that wreath and just start yelling at
you're
people?
not explaining.
You don't yell?
I don't yell.
Look at him. He's lying. That's his face he
not.
makes when he's lying.
You have to explain things.
His nose is growing.
You don't yell too much.
How do you pay? How do you go payroll with
If you're yelling,
they're not listening.
You're frustrated with your own communication. So that's why I have to take a breath for a sec, but I have to say, like, you're not fluffing. I showed you how to fluff. Can you now, like you're saying, take a picture of every wreath and send it to me, whether I'm checking or not, so that way we can get you on a plan for performance.
But why are we fluffing? Why do we make this connection like this?
Matter?
Why do we tie? Like, why are we like when you're doing these things? You're like, hey, if you don't tie in the mini lights when you're on a tree. That's a preference of a lot of people, so they don't come undone and in the wind and whatever it may happen. And why would you do that? Because so they don't come undone in the wind and we have less maintenance costs. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just make sure you tie
Whatever you do, that staple gun that you thought about using on the tree.
Yeah, you're like 2 seconds. You're like, let me tell you why we're doing this. Or if you wrapped a tree like this, it would go faster. If you ran the lights like this, it would go fast. Some people like red bulbs at the peak. If you put those up, once you already put the lights up, it'll be way better than to trying to match it up. Just these little small things, a lot of times things are education and the people don't know. So you're doing something a certain way because you're like, Billy Bob can't do this shit ever. Every time I make him do this, he can't do this. Does he know how?
Does he know the company standard?
Does he know? Is he think that he's doing it right? Like, because you're like, I'll go back and fix that reef. Why? Hey, Billy, every time you're doing a reef, you're not straightening the bow. If you take the wires in the back and you cross them this way and you do it this, it'll hold the bow straight and then it'll look straight.
And if you don't educate them, guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to perform and they don't want to call you, and then they're going to use their
waste your payroll,
or they're going to go pick up some supply that they thought they needed to do the job because they wanted to look like a winner. When really we're not working together. We're not a team.
Yeah.
It's just opening that dialogue and understanding your talent. If you don't understand your talent, you don't understand how you're measuring your talent, you're not going to be successful. If your talent is driven off of food, if you're going to reward them with food a day, if you're going to reward them with a bonus, whatever it may be, whatever your thing is, that is what you need to understand, what drives your talent for performance. And if you all think it is money, you are insane. And you've never worked in the service industry at any point in time. Because anybody that's ever worked in the service industry will tell you sometimes you do stuff and it's not about money. Everything is not about money. It's about working. We're in a shop. It's hot. It's 110 degrees. You think Gracie wants to be in a 100-degree shop? No, she likes the work environment. She likes being here. She knows the summers are going to suck. They're just going to suck. But she likes the overall job. And that's why your people come back to you, because you keep doing it. And it's
we pay them well.
And you pay well. It's good money.
And apparently we micromanage them.
We tell them we think for them.
How do you do, speaking of money, how you do payroll? Like the guys turn in payroll or you tell them the payroll, or how's it work?
They hourly. You guys
are full-time.
No, but like, is it on what day is it, or how's it work?
Our full-time employees, of course, clock in and clock out under a payroll system, and they're paid every 2 weeks through their bank accounts like a normal job.
Direct deposit,
normal. We don't pay them cash or anything like that.
No.
And then
hey, I'm calling from PLS. I have one of your employees trying to cash the check. You're like,
no, not doing that. And then our subcontractors submit. It sounds wrong to probably describe it a little better. I say they submit a bill, like an invoice kind of thing, and then we cross-reference it against.
How do they submit it to you?
I
So
was saying he filled it there.
I got an attorney to do it.
Oh, Joey's in charge of that.
Yeah.
Well.
All the
financials.
So then we have a subcontractor agreement that I had an attorney draw, and it's just it looks like a lot of words, but even that I'm like, here, read it, understand it, but here's the key points. This is what this is saying, and I explain it in like normal terms, because legal terms, like, it just runs through people's heads. Yeah. Even mine sometimes I'm like, what is this saying right here? But if we establish the relationship we do have this agreement, and this is what I will compensate you for, whatever how we're compensating that works with you. And I do work with.
We're open to payment times. Like if you want to be paid weekly, we're okay with that.
But I have some
what
guys,
day of the week is it?
Well, so some guys are like, hey, can I get paid every time? And I'm like, look, I haven't even billed for it. So it's a cash flow thing. And it's a lot of times I really try to work with somebody who can give me about 3 days at least based on that day. Because if I can kind of stack them up and do it one time versus every day I'm doing this task, it's like I'll take care of you in the beginning. Maybe we do it every day, but after about a week, we're just going to do it every 3 days or something like that. Cause you have enough money that you should be doing your cash flow because you're a subcontractor. You're subbed out and we're going to feed you a ton of stuff. So when you get the terms and conditions, right, with the subcontractor operating agreement, and then you let them know, hey, you're going to get paid like this. They're saying this is doable for them, right? And then as a company, I'm saying this is doable for me. This seems like a good plan for success. And when we get new guys in, here's the notorious thing is whether we're hiring them straight on or they're a subcontractor, everybody wants a stupid amount of money. Like insane where you're like, and I've paid guys a lot of money where if I said out loud, they would be like, I'll come work for you. And the thing is, it's not sustainable within a company to do that, to invest, give bonuses, do other things, other newer equipment. That's one thing. A company should have good, clean, maintained equipment. So they're only doing a piece of the job. They aren't doing the whole job. And that's what we all have to understand.
That's what people forget, because there's a lot of layers to the job. And that's also when you're quoting it. Just to go back, just to put that in there, what Joey's saying, because when you're quoting a job, you're also talking to someone, you're on the phone, you have your system, like there's more man hours than just installing it. So that's what you need to think about. And that's what those subcontractors sometimes don't think about, that they're just doing a piece. They're not doing the many layers of the actual
And most
job.
of them that work for us
are amazing.
Understand that, like, wow, look at what we're doing now.
Yeah, they're great.
Like, how did you do this 8-foot big bow on this mine? Like, even design this. And they're kind of, there's a respect also that they understand, like, we will close these things. We financially fund things. We put you in position and we try to elevate your organization, your family by working through us. And they understand that. When people get selfish or ego driven or like, oh, maybe you're not on the same mission and mindset as us.
And it doesn't mean, and we've had failures with employees.
Any company is going to have failures.
And you hire people that you think are going to be the right fit, and maybe at the time of your business they're the right fit, but you got to be proactive to know when you need to switch it up in your labor and everything like that. So I think the biggest thing with workforce is what works for you, because also what is your management style? The way I manage,
it's not like
how he manages, and the people that work for me might not be able to work for you. Like micromanaging, like Ron said he does. Some people might slap him in the head.
You called it micromanaging. I didn't say shit about micromanaging.
Control of everyone. No. But I'm saying everybody has different management styles, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's your company. You're the boss.
But you're maintaining quality control by staying on top of everybody, and you want in that excellence. It's an ingredient. You're baking the cake. You really are.
No, like
there's no right or wrong way to do these things. It's one in the systems and the people who work for you. It's so dynamic. That's why all these guys have questions online. How do I really resonate what Kingdom resonates or what Murphy resonates? But we all do things differently.
You need to know what your management style is. And this is a free tip right here.
Freebie.
Go online to Google, type in my management style. What type of personality am I? Take a little test and learn what the hell your management style is, okay? If you are someone who needs to have constant communication, and like Joey, he is a baker. He will give you the recipe, but he cannot watch it be made. He cannot watch me and Gracie work. He will die a slow and painful death, because we're usually having a dance party. We're singing. We're working, but it'll be done on time.
Can you imagine, Laura, a dance party at work?
Laura wants to come work with us.
Yeah,
come on the girl crew.
If I showed up in the office and I seen Laura and the girls doing a dance party, I'd be like, what the fuck? Get back to work. What are y'all doing?
I'm going to the big D, and I mean Dallas.
But the thing is a performance is not about just, hey, work, every man hour has to be this. Because if somebody gets fed, right, people can get hangry, and you're like, no lunches, keep going. You know, we're behind.
Yes.
I need beef jerky in my bag. Ain't no way.
But if they get fed, if they can get enough rest, if they can walk in the door and somebody's happy with them, and you're not resonating your negative energy on them, and they're just like when our crews go out, we're laughing.
They're
in the warehouse.
so happy.
We're laughing. We're busting balls. Like we had the flicker bulb or whatever we got sent from last year, and one of the guys goes and he's like, "Hey, Gracie, something's wrong with this bulb," and she's like, "It's a flicker bulb, you idiot! Get out of here!"
And like he kept every day he would be like, "Hey, Gracie, something's wrong with your bulb." She's like, "If you don't get the heck out of here."
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a couple things with workforce management before we move on. I know it's kind of getting late, but when you're hiring people, I mean, when you hire people, what questions are you asking them? Like one that you just mentioned, how long can you go before you get your first paycheck? Because we're not hiring day laborers. And then like Joey points out, we tell them about the hours and have them talk to their wife first or whoever to make sure that it's okay, because you already know that they're going to say, "Hey, my wife says she wants me home," or whatever. I want you to confirm all that before. And we have a company chat that we all communicate with, and everyone can see everyone's chat. And I'll show it to you real quick what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, that if we're on the phones or we're in the warehouse, we're not available,
everyone can
there,
see it.
and somebody can say, "Hey, I'm having an issue with this," if we can't answer.
So
the
they
phone
can
right
answer
away.
their own, or that when they go out there, they say, "Hey, boss, look, I went out there and this is this," and see, I'll speak to them in Spanish, but they'll say, "These are the houses," or "This was the problem on this one, and I went here, and here's a picture that everything's going." So Laura and I look at this company chat, which translates everything from English to Spanish, and then they'll go out there and show us like whatever the problems are, and then. But not only that is every single person that works for us can see it as well. So it's not a public humiliation, but it's everyone can see like, "Damn, bro, you did the big job, my friend. You're there. You got the big job. I got the bullshit 100 feet, man. You got the big one."
I like this. I like this for real. Our guys would love this.
Like when we go through and then you see like, "Hey," and then they'll say, "Hey, man, what the hell is this bullshit?" or something. And then
they do that to each other.
Oh yeah,
but
time.
This is all on a company chat that everyone can see, and then they put the full photos on Jobber. But like if there was a problem at a house, they'll show the pictures of what happened, and then everyone will say, "Oh, it's a learning experience." Or if someone says, "Hey, boss, I had a problem," there's other people at our company that can answer it, and I can see what communication was made.
I mean, they all call Gracie first. It starts in a line. We do the same thing. I love this chat though. I love this chat,
but it's like you can't say, "Well, I told Laura," like, "Well, Laura never told me, and then I never told this person." No, everyone can see everything real time, and I'll give them a morning message in the morning that says, "Good morning, guys. You're doing a great job." And then I'll go one person's name, tag them, and say, "This is what you're going to do today. You were doing a great job. This person, you're going to be in this area. You're going to meet up with this person." And then I'll have all that. And then they all start sending their pictures throughout the day. And we're just seeing active pictures that I can grab for social media or whatever. But that one, they can also do on the company chat. They can also do Google Meet, which goes with Android or iPhone. So they can do the Google Meet and say, "Hey, I have a question." They just they can upload photos or GIFs or whatever, but they can also say video, and then 3 people from the company can get in there and they can answer the question real time. And I don't actually have to personally do it, but I can see that it was done. I can see what was said, and I can type it in English, and it automatically converts it to Spanish, and it converts their Spanish back to English. And that's how we run the cruise, or Hungarian. Or whatever language, but it converts it right back from there.
Ron is really nice every day. He be telling them to have a great day, and Gracie be telling them to get out there and get back in a time.
No, I'm good cop all the time. I'm always happy. I'm always like.
No, literally, our cruisers like the happiest people in the world. But I love your group. I love your group message.
Let me ask you this.
But they also do their payroll. So they have the group chat, and then they have the individual ones if they need to ask me a question about like personal questions. So they have their personal chat that's like a payroll chat, and they can talk to me about, "Hey, this is what's going on," whatever. And then every time I pay them, I have it like they submit forms. We pay them to their bank account, and then we have a copy of every time they've been paid for in this too, for their records and ours.
All that is amazing system. And
it's different.
I want to ask one thing though. How much does all that cost?
It's free.
Free.
Exactly.
It's free. Doing this in your business, you have a system that doesn't cost anything, so your overhead's lower, and you're getting better communication to.
I love it.
To the internal operation.
Someone asked the right question, Ron, and got the right answer.
No, but it's good because when you're going to a job, then everyone can see like, hey, when you put these bulbs, this is what happened, or this one you said the wreath was down, then they're showing you a wreath. So I don't need to go through a Jobber and look at Jobber all the time and say, hey, what was up with the trees there? Oh, everything, or even to just drive by and take a picture and tell me everything looks good. If you didn't have a picture, you weren't there. And they're driving by and showing me everything that's going good, and we're just sitting here looking at the pictures. Or I'll text them and say, good morning, Jose. I got a few trouble. This isn't from December when we're just doing trouble calls and stuff, but they'll show you why it wasn't working. And then everyone who works for the company, they'll all be able to see like what was the problem, but not just like, hey guy, here's what you did wrong. The whole entire company, they're like, damn man, that dude's not making the connections, my friend.
No,
it's accountability with your internal organization.
And then you found something that worked for this is what I was talking about, managing people at the level that they need to be managed at. You found something for your employees that works, that helps everyone be managed at the level they need to be managed at, such as recognition. You're able to give out praise, and then also friendly rivalry where they're like, you didn't do the best. You found, this is what I'm talking about.
It's motivating. Or like, hey, we're going to do a picture of the day. And then they'll do like a crazy pose with a Santa Claus hat. Like if you're wearing Santa Claus hats, show me a picture of you wearing Santa Claus hats, and they'll post it on here, and I'll take it from here and post it right online. But this is where, and plus when you're sending videos, you can't text someone a video. But if you put it onto this Google chat, you can upload the video and I can grab it from there and have the actual videos for marketing and stuff. So that's how we do it.
See, I get really lucky that I get to work with our crews a lot. Like I actually get to work with them, so I'm able to bond with them and like get
you hear
to know
that, Laura?
them. I be showing up, working with them, and so I get to know them pretty well. And you're right, recognition, reward, making it feel like it's actually Christmas light season, because that you're hitting the nail on the head. What happens a lot is we don't act like it's actually Christmas lights. We act like it's something that is terrible, stressful, anxiety. We turn it into that. And that is where it comes over the goal of you're not in your best physical or mental state when you forget that it's actually Christmas lights, and you bring them back to that with the Santa hat and having fun. You're bringing back the joy of what Christmas lights is.
Also, not to poke any holes, but if you're upselling the customers, as soon as they're done with the customer, then you can actually contact the customer. Hey, did you like it? Hey, I was looking at the picture. It looks great, but how about we add this and this? I can do all the talking for someone who may not be a good salesman. I can sit there and upsell these customers, and at least 30% to 50% of them will upsell. But, it's like, I don't want someone to say, hey, I just put another 20 packs of lights on the tree because it looks better. It's like, let me confirm with the customer that they want to pay for that, but having real-time information, I'm serious, dude.
We do the same thing. Like they'll do the same thing. I am really lucky that my crew lead, he speaks very good Spanish and English, so he's able to communicate with the customer.
You have to have that person.
There's two of them. Both of them speak very good Spanish and English, and he is a pretty good little salesman. He doesn't try to upsell too much, and it is the thing of and then that's when we do get communicated with, is when he's trying to sell something else, and I'll say this is how much it should be, to have the upsell of the project.
Well, here's the thing is like, it's about the control also of the company standard on a sales point. Mm-hmm. You're an installer. I want you to tell me when there's opportunities to sell.
That's what he does.
But it needs to go to like one person who understands the financials and you don't know how much we buy this stuff for. Yeah. So therefore, how could you say but a 48-inch wreath, here's our rule.
They're like, we have extra wreaths in the truck.
But don't say a price.
We have them. They get paid by the increment. They get paid by the wreath, by the foot, by the this. So if they add another 30 feet, they make times their increment of pay more. So if they say, hey, I want to talk them into doing some more feet and do the archway, because the more feet, more they make. The more packs of lights in the tree, the more they make. The more wreaths, the more they make. So you give them more and say, hey, you want to do this? And they say, let me call the office real quick. And then I'll say, I'll send them the invoice. And they said, yes, go ahead and do it. Boom. So all they do is show it to them, and they call the office. That's how we do it.
So there could be two different Christmas companies, but then it's like, what's your sales process?
Yeah.
And you do in the field. You can't be everywhere at once, and there is going to be clients in the field. So is your field people going to engage in sales, or is it a default of, hey, put a request form in, and then it gets that ticket and it's funneled and it's not missed, and that client doesn't feel like they're being missed? because then it could be like, oh, I forgot she did say that to me and I didn't communicate it to you.
Right.
But do you want your people in the field to upsell? That's the easiest way to upsell, but are they salesmen?
I mean, and that's what I have to say about it goes back to the juice worth the squeeze. If there's an opportunity for them to upsell, 80% of my residential added on this year so far.
A lot of
add-ons, and almost 90% last year, somebody added something on, either added feet on, added a refund, something else on. So most of my returning clients do add something on. They get that second year discount of 25% for being a returning
She said
customer.
Discount.
I know, I said it. The second year,
see, the truth is coming out here.
Loyalty, returning customer. It's only second year. Returning customer, they will refunnel that into their project, and so they'll reuse it to do an addition. I do not personally, and this is my personal opinion, so this is us running two different companies, want my crew to spend their time trying to upsell on site.
Yeah. Well,
I do not think it's worth. I don't think it's worth it to my company like how I've set my company up. And 9 times out of 10, I have squeezed that residential so hard that 1, there is anything, or 2, we're installing when they're not there. Because we're trying to
the whole thing is like, why am I going to drive out there? I'm Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
I cannot see anything, but if you just take a picture of everything like I'm there, then I can see everything. I don't need to drive there. Just take a picture. So take pictures of everything. Take pictures of all that before I leave. I can look at the pictures and I can sell the customer like I'm there. I can have one person that's a salesperson. They don't need to drive anywhere. Just take better pictures. And I'm not going to look to leave until I got all the freaking pictures that I need. And then I know exactly what to do. And I can do it all from the office and don't need to go anywhere because you're my eyes and my ears with the customer, and I'll take it from there. And then I've taught someone to do what I do, and I don't do that anymore. But let's move on to new products and events, because we have some events. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring that up. And yeah, wait 1 second. We're going to talk